I've been spit on. I've had stuff thrown at me, all because I was this fat kid growing up, very insecure. I was teased by girls all the time. They even wrote in my yearbook, "Stay fat and funny."
And I will see you on the flip side. Peace. All right, ladies and gents, boys and girls. I got Tony Drake with me today on the channel. As I've mentioned, as of recently, I'm rebranding my channel into two. So we're going to talk a lot more about personal development for minorities. Again, it's your boy Ace K. Baker, and this is Tony Drake. Tony, you've been a friend of mine for at least 7 years.
Yes.
You came into my life through the startup scene when I had a startup, and since then Tony has been a very supportive friend. He went through an incredible growth journey himself, from a W-2 employee to now a lifestyle transformation coach. And why that is important is I think there's so many people asking questions of how can we bring change into our lives, for the better of course, and that's one area that Tony has become over the years an expert in. He's a big TikToker, tickety tick-tock, which is cool, an area that I certainly need to learn from him, and I'm excited about that. But more so, Tony's just a superhuman human being. He's a father. He looks like the Hulk, just a little bit, just a little bit shorter, but better, of course, and tanner, which I like that. That makes me not feel as alone. But that being said, Tony, we're going to break it down into a 3-part series. I'll let Tony explain how we're going to do that.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, Tony, make a quick introduction about yourself. Fire away, and we're going to rock this.
All right, cool. Thank you so much for having me on here. I
Of course.
appreciate it. Yeah, so I just want to talk more about my story, my background, my history. Growing up, 12 years old, I was 255 pounds at 5'6". I was this fat kid. Would always get picked on. I've been spit on. I've had stuff thrown at me, all because I was this fat kid growing up, very insecure, and all I wanted to do was have friends, right? And just try to make an impact on as many people as possible. Whether it's
And bullying is real, right?
bullying is super real.
If you look different. So my first name, I grew up in Germany, right? And the German version for a blend between Negro and nigger was nigger. So oftentimes kids called me that, and I got beat up for it. I wasn't a fighter. I had a single mom, 2 sisters, didn't do any martial arts. And until I took the bully out in 3rd grade, the stuff wouldn't stop. So I feel you there.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And I mean, you talk about low self-esteem. Mine was below the low. I had no confidence. I was teased by girls all the time. They even wrote in my yearbook, "Stay fat and funny."
Stay fat and funny. That's amazing.
Yeah, great, right?
Well, what happened to you? Well, you're still funny, but like you lost the fatness.
Yeah. I mean, even growing up, right? The heaviest I got to was 335 pounds.
And that was fat, not muscle.
No discipline, no muscle.
Yep.
Nothing, right? And so I'll never forget my brother, my older brother Dorian. He always told me the 2 best things you can invest in is your mind and in your body. And that always stuck with me. And he was always into fitness since he was 16 years old.
Well, no cap, right?
Yeah.
Mind and body, that's...
So 2 best things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so he taught me a lot of the fitness side. My wife taught me a lot of the nutrition side of things.
Is that her background?
She has a lot of different backgrounds. Now she's a nurse, but she has competed before. She has a degree in kinesiology.
And when you say competed, I assume that's physical fitness,
Yeah,
like a
fitness and
body
bikini.
competitions, that sort of thing?
Yep, she's
Sweet.
done bikini and she's done figure.
Oh, you're a lucky guy.
Oh,
Learning something from the wife. Isn't that great for
Yeah.
starters, right?
yeah.
And then you add a little love and passion into it and a child, and
Started
life's
out
good.
as friends. Yeah, started
Yeah.
out as friends, good friends, best friends, husband and wife, now parents. Right. So
That's awesome.
The journey has been really, really good, and I've learned a lot about myself. Now, one of my passions was in professional wrestling. That was one of my big goals and dreams since I was 5 years old. So, that
So
was
when
always
did you
like
get
an
into
outlet.
it?
I was 21 years old.
Okay.
Right. So
No background in wrestling prior.
Not really. No, I did a little high school wrestling.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get into the ring.
Yeah.
The WWF ring.
Right. Well, I mean, like growing up, I watched Hulk Hogan and actually The Rock as well. And they didn't show much of that on German TV, but like these loud suits, the bravado.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I can see why you would have enjoyed. You did enjoy, I guess.
did enjoy it.
Yeah.
The entertainment aspect of things. So once I got into the ring, I'd say about 3 to 4 years into my wrestling career, one of the promoters who's very well known in Southern California, he has a lot of developmental deals for people like John Cena, for people like, who else was there? The Miz, just to name a few. He told me one day, he said, look, Slim, I went by the name Slim, even though I was real big.
Yeah.
He said, if you ever want to make it into Japan or to WWF, they won't take you looking like this.
Fat.
300.
Oh, you were a fat wrestler.
Oh, I was fat.
Yeah.
And it hit so hard, but it was one of the best things he's ever told
Yeah.
me. Because when I started to apply what he told me, also what my brother told me, and what my brother taught me, as well as what my wife taught me, when I put all those three together, I ended up losing 80 pounds in 1 year.
Sheesh, that's a lot of weight.
It's a lot of weight.
Ladies
right?
and gents, if I were to lose 80 pounds today, I would look like, not too healthy.
But here's the cool part, though.
Yeah.
When I lost the 80 pounds in a year, you wouldn't believe it, man. Doors started opening.
That's
and I was
awesome.
finally able to step foot into a WWF ring.
Why is this world so superficial, Tony?
I don't know, man, but I'll tell you this, dude. When that clicked,
Yeah.
when I was able to go to Japan, I went to Japan 4 times and I went on tour in 22 different cities to wrestle in front of thousands of people.
Oh, that's hella awesome.
Right? And
So did you travel the country off Japan,
Yeah.
or was it mainly? Okay, all
yeah,
right.
so many different cities in Japan I was able to go to. Had a blowout show on my last show there. Flew back home first class. They gave me like the best treatment because I put everything out there. But one thing that I was able to realize later on is that I had so much against me growing up. I was told I'll never be anything in life.
Yeah, know that
oh,
story.
You're this fat kid. Oh, you'll never be anything. You'll never be a professional wrestler. And I was like, watch me. And once I realized that I've conquered those goals and dreams, I could conquer anything that I set my mind before me. But if I set my mind to it and I execute on a daily basis and I keep that vision in front of me, there's no way I couldn't fail. The only way I would fail is if I quit. But if I want something that bad, I'm gonna go get it.
Yeah.
Right? And so what I've taken is all the information over the last 10, 12 years, and now my passion is to help change people's lives for greatness.
Yes.
So just a
And
little,
I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And just a little bit more history. The wrestling, my career in wrestling lasted for 12 years.
Okay.
So I kept the weight off.
So you started at 21 plus 12, you're 33?
33.
Okay.
Right? And so at that time I was still wrestling, but I had the discipline, right? So I had to train for the shows, right? So I kept the weight off because of one, I'm on TV,
Yeah.
right? So you have to look a certain way.
Sure, of course.
Right? And then
And it's
once
only
I
gotten more
retired-
superficial, hasn't it?
And once I retired from wrestling, I ended up putting the weight back on.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, because I didn't have the wrestling anymore. The discipline wasn't there.
But I mean, look, so I started playing on the youth national team when I was 14. And prior to that, I trained 7 days a week. I wanted to be the best basketball player I could be, right? I looked up to
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Clyde Drexler,
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen, you name it, right?
Yeah.
But I already blew out my knees 4 years later when I stopped playing actively when I was 17.
Yeah.
I just never stopped working out. I was like, I'm not gonna like just be a slouch. I turned into a rapper then, right? Like, so a month later, I'm like, oh, I'm bored. No more 7 days a week basketball. I grew up with American hip hop. I was like, I'm gonna be a rapper. And so for me, I just never stopped working out.
Right.
And
But
to
you
this
gotta
day.
you got to remember too, I was a fat kid.
Oh, that's true.
So mentally,
yeah.
I'm going to revert.
Is
to
that
that
is that
fat
a
kid
challenge that
mentality.
people have? If they are fat once, it's kind of like the alcoholic, right?
Mhm.
So alcoholic does the 12-step program, Alcoholics Anonymous, is sober, can never drink again. If they have a few drinks, well, it opens the door out. Do you see that with people who are trying to who are losing all this weight? That yo-yo thing, right? Especially,
Yeah.
I think dieting is terrible, first of all. I think it's in the systems, right? Like, you don't have crap food at home. You kind of are more mindful.
Right.
Instead of saying, I do this shake diet, they lose 40, 50
Right.
pounds.
That's the-
Shake diets is
yeah.
done.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the overnight success type
Yeah,
of diet.
yeah.
But
yeah. We all want it fast in this society, especially in America, right? Oh, how do I get rich quick?
yeah.
Yeah,
How
I've been
do-
doing YouTube
yeah.
now for what, a year and a half? I'm not rich from it. You know, I invested in it. It's a long-term thing. Same with your health, right?
Right. Right. So reverting back to that mentality of this fat kid,
Mm-hmm.
the discipline wasn't there once I was done with wrestling. right? So it's like, now what do I do? It's kind of like the athletes who retire from, whether it's basketball, football,
Yeah.
and those Sunday schedules or Sunday games for football or those weekly games for basketball aren't there anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
So a lot of times you'll see athletes turn into fathletes, right?
Sure.
There's-
Fathletes.
Yeah, I'm 44 years old now,
Yeah.
but I still see that 12-year-old kid who was laughed at, spit on, and picked on
Yeah.
for being fat.
So what does that do for you? Like seeing that kid?
That
like,
pain turns into passion,
Yeah.
right? So then that
Pain to passion, guys.
and it gives me a passion and a purpose to solve the problems
Yeah.
that I have on a day-to-day basis.
That makes perfect sense.
So when I go into the gym every morning, it's not to go, oh, I'm gonna go be a bodybuilder one day. It's
Okay.
to get rid of those pains.
Yeah.
Instead of running to pills, instead of running to a bottle, instead
Yeah.
of running to more food
Sure.
to end up with regret, I
Yeah.
want to end up with reward.
It's just little things. You guys don't need to change the world or move a mountain, but like one or two things over a year or two
Yeah.
will get you great results, right?
Right. And the key thing is that you want to be able to set a vision for yourself. If you have that vision,
Yeah.
that's where it begins, and that's why I always talk about mindset first.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, I'll dive into these topics later on.
Yeah, and we can
part
do
two and
like,
part
we
three.
can spin this out
Yeah.
and explain how you cultivate and maintain a vision, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so just sharing my story. So when I went back up to 308 pounds.
Yeah.
And I was about to be a father for the first time.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm about to hit 40 years old.
So this is 2018 we're talking, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
My vision was, how can I look and feel my best at 40?
Mm.
And on top of that, be the most fit and healthy father.
Yep.
Right. I was already a healthy husband at the time, but then I ended up going back up slowly.
Sure.
But now it's like, okay, I want to be a healthy husband and a fit father.
Yep.
So when I started to visualize those things in front of me, I had to make that change again.
Yeah.
Fortunately, this time, the discipline that I received before when I was getting ready to do my wrestling stuff,
Yes.
I applied that again, but I just had a different goal,
Yeah, follow.
right? So remember, if I could conquer these goals in the ring, I could conquer any goal, and that's what I ended up doing again. So
Yeah.
I had two weight loss journeys.
Yes.
And so, but this time around, approaching 40, I was able to kind of switch my routine up to where I was able to build muscle and burn fat simultaneously, which is one of the hardest things to do.
Oh, I believe it.
But it ended up
Because
turning
people
out to be
always
great.
bulk first and then they cut, typically
Right.
speaking, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But this time around, when I did it, other people started to notice when I was working, and they were like, "How are you doing this?" Right? And so, in the next series we'll talk about it. But this is where I turned my hobby into a passion, my passion into my business.
Yes. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Boom. I think that gives us a good introduction. I do think we'll link to all the resources Tony would like to share, and his Instagram, and his TikTok, and his website that's going to be launched soon. I've gotten
Yeah.
a preview,
Yeah.
which it looks like dynamite. So guys, there's going to be a lot for you. Tony, are there any last thoughts you'd like to share before we close this out?
Yeah, so before we go into part two and part three, I just want you to know that we all have a story. And what I always like to tell people is that with your story, don't keep it to yourself. Get it out to as many people as possible, because of the fact that when you get that story out to other people, you'd be surprised how many people say, "That's me too."
Turn your mess into your message.
Yes.
Today in 2022, in an environment that's at least a little bit more accepting, and people, corporations are starting to realize if we can help our employees with their mental health, with their physical well-being, we have better performing employees, happier employees.
Right.
And what happens if you're happy is you exude that and everybody benefits, right?
Yes, for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, brother, it's been such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yeah.
And we'll do a lot more of that. I salute you for coming back, dropping that weight, and actually using this to drive positive impact. I had the chance to listen into one of your coaching calls.
Yeah.
And you guys, this is hard to distill from an interview like this, but Tony is the kindest, most empathetic, and perhaps he cultivates an atmosphere where collaboration and sharing and having a mess story, quote unquote, well, that's okay. And I love seeing that. I think we need more of that, especially in the Black community or the minority communities, where you kind of have to be hard, right? But I think as a dude, you don't have to be hard. You just have to have good friends, a good support system. Tony has some of that for those who are interested, and we'll build more stuff for you guys. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, if you could do us one quick favor, if you haven't already done so, hit the like button, the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and share it really with anybody who needs help on the personal development front, who's looking for tools, tips, tricks, mindset, physical fitness. I would really appreciate it. And so would you, right?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
All right, spread the love. And thanks so much for watching today. And we will see you on the flip side. Peace.